So good day everyone. Today we will going to continue our discussion about the agrarian reform. So on our last meeting we are done discussing about the five president, which is Manuel A. Rojas, Elpidio R. Quirino, then Ramon Magsaysay, Carlos P. Garcia, and Diosdado P. Macapagal. So today we will going to move on our main topic, which is the law of agrarian reform during the presidency of this president. So during the presidency of President Manuel Rojas, they implemented the Republic Act number 34 and Republic Act number 55. But first we will go into discuss the Republic Act number 34. Established the 70-30 sharing arrangement and regulating shared tenancy contracts. Paano nga ba ito, no? So, the 70% of the harvest will go to the person who shouldered the expenses for planting, harvesting, and for the work animals. So, for example, the tenant will going to shoulder all the expenses on the farm. So, the 70% of the harvest will go to the tenant, while the 30% will go to the landowners. So to keep the good relationship between the landowners and the tenant, they can enter into a tenancy contract as long as they will not violate any laws and any public policies. So next, let's go to Republic Act number 55. Provided for a more effective safeguard against arbitrary ejectment of tenants. It provides safeguards to protect the tenants from arbitrary eviction. The law was passed in response to the land tenure issues that remained after the Philippines gained independence in 1946. This act aimed to protect the tenants' rights and prevent landowners from unfairly removing them from their land. This contributed to a sense of security for tenants, allowing them to focus on their farming activities without fear and displacement. Also to create a more balanced relationship between tenants and landowners. And now, let's go to President Elpidio R. Quirino. So, during the time of Elpidio R. Quirino, they implemented the Executive Order number 355 on October 23, 1950. So, replaced the National Land Settlement Administration with Land Settlement Development Corporation or LASEDECO, which takes over the responsibility of the Agricultural Machinery Equipment Corporation and the Rice and Corn Production Administration. Ano nga ba yung National Land Settlement Administration? So, to facilitate land acquisition, settlement, and cultivation in the Philippines. The National Land Settlement Administration aimed to provide opportunities for farmers, encourage migration to sparsely populated regions, and develop new money crops. So, ang ibig sabihin naman ng Agricultural Machinery Equipment Corporation are tools and machines used on farms to make farming easier and more efficient. And the Rice and Corn Production Administration is a government agency in the Philippines that coordinates and supervises the activities of other government agencies involved in rice and corn production. So, LASEDECO was established to accelerate and expand the peasant resettlement program of the government. The purpose of this LASEDECO is to accelerate the government's peasant resettlement program, provide opportunities for farmers to own farm, and establish credit agencies and other services for settlers, and facilitate the acquisition and cultivation of agricultural lands. The contributions of this LASEDECO is providing opportunity for farmers to own farms, especially for tenants farmers, small farmers, and etc. The reason why Quirino established the Lasedeco because he believed that a centralized agency with a broader responsibilities could better address the challenges of landless and agricultural development. It aims to create a more efficient and integrated agency capable of acquiring and distributing land. Yung itong Lasedeco, no, sila yung magbibigay ng mga land sa mga tenants or yung sa mga farmers na walang pagmamay-aring lupa, at nagbibigay din sila ng mga suporta sa mga farmers. So include na dito yung mga technical assistance, yung mga access sa machineries and equipment para mapadali yung trabaho ng mga farmers. Nakakatulong din ito sa mga landless farmers, no, para kung saan nila pwedeng i-build yung mga bahay nila at i-cultivate yung land. And now let's go to Ramon Magsaysay. So during his presidency, they established the Republic Act number 1160 of 1954 and Republic Act number 1199 Agricultural Tenancy Act of 1954 and Republic Act number 1400 or known as Land Reform Act of 1955, and the last one is the Republic Act number 821, Creation of Agricultural Credit Cooperative Financing Administration. But first we will going to discuss the Republic Act number 1160 of 1954. Abolished the Lasedeco and established the National Resettlement Rehabilitation Administration or the NARRA to resettle dissidents and landless farmers. So the Republic Act number 1160 of 1954 abolished the Lasedeco because they want to shift the focus of the land reform program. So while Lasedeco focused on acquiring and distributing land, the NARR aimed to resettle dissidents and landless farmers, particularly rebel returnees. This shift in focus was a key part of Magsaysay strategy to address the Hukbalahap insurgencies. Magsaysay believed that resettling landless farmers and rebels returnees was a crucial to ending the Huk insurgency. So the NARRA was designed to provide these individuals with land and support services, giving them a stake in society and reducing the appeal of the Huk movement. So the NARR focused on rehabilitation went beyond simply distributing land. The agency provided support services including housing, agricultural training, and etc. or the other things that the farmers needed. Next is Republic Act number 1199 Agricultural Tenancy of 1954. So governed the relationship between landowners and tenant farmers by organizing shared tenancy and leasehold system. The law provided the security of tenure of tenants. This act established to give a fair and just relationship between the landowners and tenants. So the goal of this act is to protect the rights of tenants and landowners, ensure equitable division of income and produce, and promote efficient agricultural production and contribute to rural development. Ano nga ba itong leasehold? So leasehold is a tenural arrangement where a farmer cultivates lands belonging to another party in exchange for a fixed payment, can be money, produce, or bought. So in this act, so the tenants can pay the landowners between money, produce, or both. So it is depend on their agreement. So second to the last is the Republic Act number 1400 also known as Land Reform Act of 1955. So created the Land Tenure Administration or LTA, which was responsible for acquisition and distribution of large tenanted rice and cord lands over 200 hectares for individuals and 600 hectares for corporation. It aims to help farmers to own the land they work on. It created a government agency called the Land Tenure Administration, the LTA, was tasked with buying large farms, the rice and corn lands from landowners, and then dividing them into smaller plots for farmers to own. The LTA will use the government money to purchase the large farms. This act will help to increase incomes, improve farm productivity, and resolve land ownership conflicts. And the last one is Republic Act number 821, or also known as Creation of Agricultural Credit Cooperative Financing Administration, provided small farmers and shared tenancy loans with low interest rates of 6 to 8%. So this act will help small farmers secure loans and market their agricultural products. And also, the government will extend an assistance to help cooperative associations finance facilities for processing, storing, and marketing agricultural products. And now let's go to President Carlos P. Garcia. So during the presidency of Carlos P. Garcia, he continued the program of Ramon Magsaysay, and there's no new legislation passed. However, even there's no new legislation passed, President Garcia did issue Presidential Proclamation number 476 on January 16, 1958, which reserved 3,401 hectares of land for the Mindanao Agricultural College. And for the last one, President Diosdado P. Macapagal. So during his presidency, and they established the Republic Act number 3844 of August 8, 1963, also known as Agricultural Land Reform Code. So abolished the shared tenancy, institutionalized leasehold, set retention limit at 75 hectares, invested rights of preemption and redemption for tenant farmers, provided for administrative machinery for implementation, institutionalized and judicial system of agrarian cases, incorporated extension, marketing, and supervised credit system of services of farmers' beneficiaries. This act aimed to address the long-standing issue of shared tenancy, a system where farmers share their harvest with landowners, often leading to exploitation and poverty. So this code sought to create a more equitable and productive agricultural system. So the first is the abolish of shared tenancy and institutionalization of leaseholds. This meant that farmers could no longer be forced to share their harvest with landowners. Instead, the farmers paid fixed rentals to landowners for the use of their land. This provided farmers with greater control over their income and encouraged them to invest in improving their land. Second is retention limit and land distribution. So this code set a retention limit of 75 hectares for landowners, meaning they could only keep a maximum of 75 hectares of land. Any land exceeding this limit was subjected to acquisition by government for distribution for tenants farmers. It aims to break up large land holdings and promote a more equitable distribution of land ownership. And the third is right of preemption and redemption for tenant farmers. So right of preemption, allowing them to purchase or buy the land they were cultivating if the landowner decided to sell it. This gave farmers priority over the potential buyers. So, and right of redemption, allowing them to buy back the land if it was sold to a third party without their knowledge. This protected farmers from losing their land due to unforeseen circumstances. And the fourth is administrative machinery and judicial system. So the code established an administrative machinery for implementing the land reform program, including the creation of land authority to oversee the acquisition and distribution of land. It also institutionalized a judicial system specifically for agrarian cases, ensuring that disputes between landowners and tenant farmers were resolved efficiently and fairly. And the fifth is support services for farmers. So recognize the need for support services to help farmers succeed under the new leasehold system. It incorporated provision for extension services, providing farmers with technical assistance and training. Also include measures for marketing services, helping farmers sell their produce at fair prices, and supervised credit, providing access to loans with guidance and responsible financial management. So that's all. Thank you for listening.
Executive Order Number 228, July 16, 1987. Siya ang nagdeklara sa full ownership to qualified former beneficiaries na sakop Presidential Decree Number 27. Joseph Estrada in 1998-2000. Era para sa mahirap. Joseph Estrada became implemented popular during the 1998 presidential election because of this battle cry. So Executive Order number 151, September 1999, Farmers Trust Fund. Ito ang sigaw ng labanan na nagmamahal kay Pangulong Joseph Estrada at nagpapasikat sa kanya noong 1998 president election pinagsimula ni Pangulong Joseph Estrada. Ang pagsasabatas na sa sumusunod na batas, kautosang tagapagpaganap number 151 September 1999 na nagpapahintulot sa voluntaryong. So, Fidel Ramos administered had to deal with the Republic losing faith in the Agrarian Reform Program. He officially entered office in 1992. So, Republic Act number 7881 in 1995 modified a number of the provision of RA 6657 and exempted. So, kung ma-observe nyo to, nakasentro ang mga batas na pinapatupad ni former President and the Agrarian Reform Program. That's why ini-implement ang CARP noong 1995 tapos si Santana ay ni-restrict ang pag-convert sa mga land which is malaki yung may tutulong para mapakikinabangan pa ng land area nito agricultural matter.
Good afternoon, class. Hi, my name is Isabel Patel, and now let's discuss the agrarian reform of the three presidents, which is Gloria Macapagal Arroyo and President Benigno Aquino and President Rodrigo Roa Duterte. But first, let's discuss the Gloria Macapagal Arroyo. So, Gloria Macapagal Arroyo was born on April 5, 1947 in San Juan, Manila, and the daughter of a former President Diosdado Macapagal and Dr. Evangelina Macaraeg Macapagal. And Gloria Macapagal Arroyo, she spent her primary and secondary education at the Assumption Convent, graduating high school as a valedictorian from 1964 to 1966. She was always in the dean list at the Georgetown University, where she took up ABM Economic and continued to pursue the same course at the Assumption College, graduating as a magna cum laude in 1968 and took her MA in Economics at the Ateneo Manila University in 1978 and her doctorate in Economics at UP School of Economics in 1985. So President Macapagal Arroyo, Gloria Macapagal Arroyo, began her professional career as an assistant professor at Ateneo de Manila University from 1977 to 1987 and professional at UP School of Economics. In those same year, she cleared the Economic Department of Assumption College from 1984 to 1987 before assuming the post of Assistant Secretary of the Department Trade of Industry from 1989 to 1992. So Gloria Macapagal Arroyo, she decided to follow her father's footstep by trying a politics. So Macapagal Arroyo was elected as senator before she became a president. She became first senator in 1992 and was re-elected in 1995. On May 11, 1998, Gloria Macapagal Arroyo ran for position of the vice president and she won overwhelmingly over the other vice president candidates. Then she appointed a secretary of social welfare and department. So Gloria Macapagal Arroyo, before she became a president and a senator, she became first a vice president. So she sworn in a president of the republic in January 2001 as the result of the EDSA revolution, which was triggered by the impeachment trial of President Joseph Estrada. So Gloria Macapagal Arroyo administrated the anchored on the vision to make the countryside economically viable for the Filipino family by building partnership and promoting social equity, and new economic opportunities. Toward lasting peace and sustainable rural development, so Gloria Macapagal Arroyo in the Agrarian Reform, Land Tenure Improvement or DRR will remain various implementing on land acquisition and distribution component as a CARP. The DRR will improve the tenure system through land distribution and leasehold and provision of support services. CARP not only involved the distribution of lands but also included package of support services, which includes credit assistance, extension services, irrigation facilities, road and bridges, marketing facilities, and training and technical support program. Infrastructure project, DRR will transform the agrarian reform communities or AR, an area focuses on integrated delivery of support services into rural economic zone that will help in the creation of job opportunities in the country. And now let's proceed to President Benigno Aquino III. So Benigno Aquino born on February 8, 1960 at Manila, Philippines. And he died on June 24, 2021 at Manila, same. Benigno Aquino was a Filipino politician who served as a president of the Philippines to 2010-2016. While during the 2012 State of the National Address that he would complete before the end of his term, the comprehensive agrarian reform from CARP, the centerpiece program of the administration of his mother President Cora John Aquino, distribution of family-owned Hacienda Yusita in Tarlac. From the said farm lots, he also promised to complete the distribution of privately owned lands of production and agricultural estates in the country that have escaped the under his administration, the Agrarian Reform Community Connectivity and Economic Support Services project was created to contribute to the overall goal of a rural poverty reduction, especially in agrarian reform areas. And the Agrarian Production Credits Program provide credit support for crop production to newly organized and existing agrarian reform beneficiaries. And farmers organized that qualified to avail themselves of loans under the regular credit windows of banks. The Legal Case Monitoring System, or LCMS, a web-based legal system for recording and monitoring various kinds of agrarian cases at the provincial, regional, and center offices of the DRL to ensure faster regulation and close monitoring of agrarian-related cases. Cases will also launch, and aside from this initiative, Aquino also enacted Executive Number 26 Series of 2011 to mandate the Department of Agricultural Department of Environment and Natural Resources, Department of Agrarian, Reform of Vergence Initiative to develop a national greening program in cooperation of other government agencies. So the last is President Rodrigo Duterte. So Rodrigo Duterte, born on March 28, 1945, a lawyer and a politician who was the president of the Philippines from 2016 to 2022. But before Duterte became a president, he was a mayor first at the Davao City. We all know naman. He was among the longest-serving mayor in the Philippines. He had previously been a long-time mayor of Davao City. So in the agrarian reform, the president wants to pursue an aggressive land reform program that would help alleviate the life of poor Filipino farmers by prioritizing the provision of support services alongside land distribution. And the president directed the DIR to launch the second phase of agrarian reform, where landless farmers would be awarded with undistributed lands under the comprehensive agrarian reform. And Duterte planned to place almost all public land, including military services, under agrarian reform. The president also placed 400 hectares of agricultural lands in Boracay under the CARP. Under his administration, the DRR created an anti-corruption task force to investigate and handle reports on illegal anomalous activities by officials and employees of the department. The department also pursued a Upland Zero backlog in the resolution of cases in relation to agrarian justice delivery of the agrarian reform program to fast-track the implementation of CARP.